Nice looking campsite here. Nice and level. Big enough for 2 or 3 vehicles. With a spectacular view. It's right at the end of the road. Not a whole lot of shade here, but there's a little tiny bit. The spot I had in mind, so I think I'll meander up to the spot I had in mind. If I decide I like this one better, I'll come back to this one. But way over there up top, that's the spot I was thinking of. So, I don't know. See what the view looks like from there, and then might come back here, maybe find another spot. I gotta make a big sharp hairpin turn up here. No, I'm just gonna go turn around. Driving that little turn there is just too much of a hairpin to try to get up that. Really steep, loose material. If I was in a Jeep, I'd do it easy, but in the truck, I'd just end up tearing it up more. So went up and turned around, and now we'll head up that road. All that smoke over there hanging in the air. It smells smoky too. It's mostly over there. If you look on the other side, it's a lot more clear. It's still smoky over there too, but it's not that big, giant dark cloud hanging. This is not the spot I was intending to go, but it's a pretty good spot. And I got a view on both sides. No shade and no real shelter from the wind. This is the spot I was intending to camp at when I came out here, but now I'm questioning it after those other 2 spots. It's got a nice little flat area. But I think those other spots are better. There is a cool rock right here. I do like cool rocks. And there's a great view. Sit here and think about it for a little bit. I was in 4-wheel drive until I started going up that. Each one of these 3 spots has a hairpin turn to like go out and check out the other one, so I have to go way up the main road and then find a wide spot and turn around and then come back. So I've done like 3 or 4 turnarounds already. And I was actually intending to camp at the spot down there. It was a little bit sheltered, but I decided to go up to this high spot. And if it gets windy, I'll move spots later. All right, I was gonna go back to that second spot that was a little bit sheltered that I found, but I came up to this high spot with the best view. I always tend to gravitate toward the higher elevation spots with views. And as long as it's not super windy, this is where I'll camp tonight. I didn't bring a tent, so if it gets windy, I'll either go to that second spot that's just down there, or right at the base of this little, where this comes up, there's a little spot that I could pull off into. It's that time of year, I think today's the first day of fall. It's that time of year when it's like cold and hot at the same time. Like the sun is just beating down and it's hot, but at the same time the air is kind of cold. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's kind of cold and hot at the same time. I can't remember how long I've had this pop-up canopy. It's been several years, and for some reason I was thinking it was an 8x8, and so I would never use it because there's not a lot of space there, but it's a 10x10. I finally retired my other one that I've been using all the time, so. The one I retired, I bought another one, the same brand, same size, everything, just because it lasted for many, many years, so. It definitely earned me being a repeat customer, but it's still brand new in the box. I haven't used it yet. I'll pull it out here probably the next month or two. All right, for lunch, I got some cold chicken, some salad, like the spring mix type stuff, and then some cranberries and sunflower seeds and some cheese. That'll be lunch. So I have a whole bunch of music on my phone, which probably most people do, and I have a Bluetooth speaker, but sometimes it's fun to bring CDs too. So this is the CDs I brought for this trip. 2 Black Sabbaths, one with Ozzy and one with Dio. And then some classic Overkill. And some Maiden, Iron Maiden and Iron Butterfly, and some Blackfoot and Megadeth. And I got this cheapy little stereo thing on Amazon, so plays CDs and does the radio, and that's all I need. If you've never heard of Blackfoot, I highly recommend checking out Blackfoot. I'll link Highway Song and Train, Train, Train. Those are great songs. And then if you ever find out that the world is going to end and you can only listen to one song and then the world is going to end, your choice, you should go with Iron Butterfly, In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, because let's see if it'll focus. Come on. It's really long, and even though it says 17 minutes and 5 seconds, it actually takes about 5,000 years for that song to end. And then these are the books I brought. This one I just started, and it's kind of hard for me to get into, but we'll see. It's book 1 of a trilogy, so. And then I haven't started that one yet, and then I brought some light reading there with some Nietzsche. I just finished Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. That was a great book. If you've seen the movie The Martian, he's the guy that wrote that book. And if you've seen that movie but have not read the book, I highly recommend reading that book because the book is phenomenal. It goes into a lot more stuff than the movie does. So if it's been a while since you've seen the movie, you can probably find that book, The Martian, in a used bookstore. I was hoping to find Project Hail Mary used, but now that they're making a movie, yeah, I had to buy a brand new copy. But it was good. I whipped through that whole thing in like 4 or 5 days. And it's I think it's an almost 500-page book. It looks like the smoke is it's getting more smoky here. Yeah, the cloud is a little bit more diffuse, a little bit higher, and it's the mountain is almost invisible now. It's gotten a lot more smoky on the Mount Rainier side of my little hilltop here. I can even between me and those taller trees over there, I can see smoke. I can smell smoke. All right, if this was your choice of music, which one would you go with first? All right, I went with Overkill. This album came out in 1989. I was in 9th grade. I remember when it came out. and catching this very song on Headbangers Ball on MTV. Thought it was amazing. Me and my buddy both bought this. I haven't listened to the whole album all the way through in a long, long time. So the wind is massively picked up, as you can see from the outlook in there. I got some rice and then an Alaskan salmon burger for dinner. I'm hoping it's enough shelter here that I can cook that without it blowing the flame out. Hopefully the wind will calm down here pretty quick. I'm thinking it might just be because the sun went down. Well, the wind has not died down. Still trying to cook. I put my mat up here to try to get a little bit of a wind shield. And the shelter keeps wanting to blow away. I've got it on anchored to the propane tank on that side, and I don't have anything to anchor it to on this side except for the truck. There's no way I'm going to be able to drive a stake into this ground up here. So I think I'll alright, I got a bungee going to the door latch up there. So I should keep this secured, and I need to flip back because it's finally getting warm in there now. As soon as I eat, I'm going to get out of this spot. All right, I'm gonna call that done. Spices in there and chow it down, and then work on getting out of here. All right, everything's in the truck. I just kind of threw stuff in there because I don't have to go very far. And here we go. All right, in the next spot. It's still a little windy, but it's just a little breezy here. It's not that gale force wind that's going to blow me over, so this will be just fine for tonight. Let's start to get set up. All right, this will be the setup for tonight. I'm just going to sleep in the back of the truck with the canopy over the top. I may lower it down a little bit. I'll definitely have to bungee it to the truck to keep it from moving around. Or I'll probably stick the propane tank on one side and stick the cooler on the other side or something like that. That'll be the setup for the night. All right, in the back of the truck now. I just got the canopy things setting all the way down, basically resting on the bed. And that orange line there is it's tied to the propane tank to keep the back from lifting up. And then the two front sides, this side and then that side, are tied to the front wheels to keep it from shifting back that way. And I got the owl blanket up here to keep the metal pieces from banging on the tailgate or banging on the bed. And it's going to be the setup for tonight. It's pretty drafty, but it's okay. It's not super cold out, and it's not raining. I don't think this setup would work in the rain because it would leak around the front here. But this will work. This will work for tonight. This is the first time I've tried a setup like this, so I thought about doing it before and figured I'd give it a shot tonight. And since I didn't bring a tent, this is my only option. So I'm gonna read for a while, and that'll be it. Well, next morning, it's still super windy. I'm all packed up. All right, I found a spot that's sheltered from the wind. I'm gonna have a couple of these things for breakfast. And if I have enough fuel left over, I'll make some coffee. Doesn't look like much of a spot, but there is a view if you walk over here. View of the mountain. While walking around, I found a hunk of metal. There's a shackle, and then I don't know what this is called, but it's for putting a piece of cable through there and then snaking it through, and then the end of the cable comes out there, and you've got a way to hold onto your cable. Something that the loggers would have used. I'm going to take some scrap metal in before too long, and I'll just add that to the mix. Alright, breakfast is cooked. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy the view and let the coffee water heat up over there. Alright, coffee's brewing, dripping down or whatever. I didn't bring a coffee cup, so I'm gonna have to recycle a beer bottle. I rinsed it out with water a few times, so hopefully it won't taste like coffee beer. Desperate times and all that jazz. Well, I found a piece of cable so I can kind of show how that thing would work. So you would take the end of the cable and put it through this end and then snake it around and then pull it down, and then you could whatever your cable's attached to, then you could pull with your shackle. It would be in there like that. And to get it out, you just pull back out. This cable is too small. It wouldn't have been for this size, because this is that's way too sloppy than for a little bit bigger of a cable. There we go. Not the first time I've had to do this, but it's definitely something you don't drive down the road with. See, that's the little cable I had earlier, and then this would be the correct size. So you would shove this in here and snake it around and turn it sideways, and then it locks in like that. And then you would use your shackle on this side, which would have a bolt going through there, and then this would attach to whatever you're going to pull this cable with. Sure, this is an old choker, and maybe this is a bell. Maybe this is a different style bell than what I'm used to seeing. I don't know what it is. It's kind of cool though. I think I'm actually going to keep it. It's in pretty good shape. All right, that's it for this trip. Trying to get on out of here.